Hey guys, XJ9's here, and today's going to be a video about RuneScape, the 110 woodcutting, fletching, and firemaking new skilling update. I've read this, so I'm just going to kind of just say my thoughts about it and in general what it's going to be about. So, quick summary, the level caps are increased to 110 for woodcutting, fletching, and firemaking. There's a new tree at level 100 that I'm not sure if it gives best in slot XP, but it's the newest tree with a new mechanic. That I do like the new mechanic. Spoilers. Uh, I hope they do make it a thing on other trees like yews and magics and such. New scaling mechanics, yep, and I'll talk about this. So it's new scaling mechanics for these trees. Unique resources. So there's a new bird nest and a new tree, obviously. New range weapons. So the new range weapon is a tier 100 Masterwork Bow. It has no effect though, so wait until 110 rune crafting, and then I think they're going to start discussions about that. Just to see where the game is, because they need to fix combat so bad in this game. They talk about it here, but the new weapons are just tier 90. I don't think that really matters. New hatchets, level 100 hatchet, both augmented and non-augmented, and more. I haven't actually watched this video. I should probably watch it sometime. So right off the bat, there's a new tree. I actually like the lords, like from uh, the Dream of Ilya, whatever it's called. Ayaya. The homeworld, they plant the seeds, and it's helping grow a bunch of these trees grow, and then they help everything else around it grow. They look very pretty. I actually really like how they look, so I think they did a good job there. Here's the concept art. I just think it looks really good. Really, it looks like something that would be, a higher tier tree. What else is going on? Okay, so new timers. So when you click on a tree, it says level requirement, level 100. Actually, I'm not sure if it says it for every tree, but this is the new mechanic. This is how they want woodcutting to work, and hopefully it's good enough that people like it and overroll it out. Level requirement's 100. Max fall time 5 minutes. So when you click on it, it's going to be 5 minutes until it breaks. Time to felling is 4:33 left, so they've been whacking it for 27 seconds. Pretty much how it works is exactly that. You chop it, and the timer starts. If you stop chopping it, the timer will start recovering, and this can be used to they say to optimize woodcutting routes, but I feel like you can get grief because everyone's using it, right? So if someone doesn't go off it, like especially on the update, you're not gonna be able to utilize the fact like, oh, let's go off this tree, guys, and go on these other ones. Like I think everyone's there's probably gonna be a lot of trolls. I hope you know that on day one. A lot of people are just gonna bring alts and like chop all the trees so none spawn, so they're all dead at the same time. You have to wait for them to regrow, probably, which is really going to be funny. When it's chopped, it does regrow. I'm not sure how long it takes to regrow though, but it's interesting. I'm assuming it might actually take longer to regrow than just letting the timer go back up, because they did say going off the tree before the time lapse can be used to optimize your cutting route, and it's an interesting mechanic, but it might be griefed, so we'll see about that. It depends if it's again. They say sometimes they say things they don't actually even mean it. Like, is it actually optimal not to finish cutting the tree? Is it optimal to let the tree regrow? We don't know. So logical instincts. I'm very happy about this update. First off, I'm very actually surprised. So it's just like the Rock Cartoonies version of woodcutting, except it is different. So when you're cutting a tree, um, you will see these like this glow. Like so, right here, you see like these leaves like brushing up, like pew, with like all this wind effect. You want to where does it say you got to go on top of it? It says move to the side of the tree. I'm not sure if you need to be on the side or on the particle effect itself, but just I guess go on the side or particle effect of it, and you'll get increased XP when a log is obtained by 5%, only for the first log. 3% chance to get a bird's nest. Uh, so and this is for this buff lasts for 30 seconds. So once you go on the side and you start cutting from that side, um, I'm not sure if you can walk away at that point. I'm assuming you don't even. I'm assuming once you have the buff, it just stays on. So you get a buff for 30 seconds. So 5% XP for every log obtained, only for the first log if you have like Hone 6 or maybe I guess the Dwarven Chain Axe. So only the first log for 5% more XP. I'm assuming that does work with Furnace perk. 3% chance to obtain bird's nest. I'm assuming just every time a tick passes, like every time I think I'm not sure how bird's nests are calculated. I think it's just calculated based on like 1, 2. So like it's just also I'm not sure if it's a flat chance or not, but it's a benefit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it might be a flat chance, honestly, because this is I don't know. 1% chance to obtain enchanted bird's nest, which it's nothing too special. It's mostly I was even saying an Iron Man thing, but it is better rewards, which is nice. It's like jewelry and such, so probably like 10, 20k plus from a nest, which is nice. And 10% chance to perform like perfect cut, and a perfect cut is I think it's just a guaranteed cut, honestly. Like you just I don't know, but this is what do they say about that? So perfect cuts are a kind of critical strike mechanic, which guarantees a log from that swing. So 10% chance to 1% get a log on that woodcutting tick. So that's pretty good. Interesting though because it makes accuracy the woodcutting like lumberjack or less not as good because if you have a guaranteed chance to cut something, then the accuracy, the chance to get something isn't as great because this is a guaranteed chance to cut it. I mean, it's lumberjack ore is so good to use. I'm just kind of pointing out that, but if you have a guaranteed chance, the percentage, you know, success chance diminishes like the value of it, but it doesn't. That's like super technical nerd stuff. Um, so new consumables. So from what is this? From the nest, I believe. Uh, Yeah, Enchanted Bird's Nest. So Enchanted Bird's Nest have bird whistle. So let's go over. Sorry, I'm doing some brighter short shifts, guys. So bird whistle increase the chance of finding a specific type of bird's nest. Choose between seed, ring, or eggs bird's nest. I'm assuming whether not you choose one of these, you will still get Incanado hatchet fragments or whatever you call it. So that's pretty interesting. This is definitely going to be one of the ones that are not as popular because who would want a specific net type of nest? Is there a reason? I mean, I just think. I mean, I guess you would want seed for an Iron Man. Sharpening so increase the chance of performing a perfect cut. This is only good if you're paying attention. So this is not going to be as popular, but this will be better. This is for people who want to pay attention when wood cutting. Imbued bird. So this will be popular, but not as popular. Imbued bird feed increase the chance of finding an enchanted bird's nest. Kind of redundant. I'm not sure how much that chance will increase. Maybe you can get more out of using one if you pay attention. Like you use one bird feed for 20 minutes, and maybe it increases a lot that you get your investment back. I'm not sure. Lumberjack's Courage increased XP received from gaining a log by 20%. That is very strong. Also, we don't know if this is base XP because if it's base XP and works with Furnace, that is very strong. So yeah, Lumberjack's Courage is gonna be the really expensive consumable. Um, I'm not. I doubt they're gonna work with Golden Bamboo. Some things don't work with Golden Bamboo, but maybe it will because Fire's Torch works with Golden Bamboo. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Golden Bamboos is so good. I'm actually very curious about the XP rates. I really hope this is better than Golden Bamboo, and by like 300k at least. I really do, because like I'm not joking. I think this game needs a big rework with the XP rates on a lot of things. It was like a lot of things. Things are too AFK for how much XP they are. Best in the nest. So what's up? So on top of these rewards from the Enchanted Bird's Nest, you can get rare seeds, so I guess the expensive seeds. I don't know the names of them. Higher tier wood spirits, so maybe probably wood spirits for this tree. Wood cutting consumables, aka the items that just went through that are like archaeology type buffs. Clue scrolls. I really wonder what the master rate will be. Salvage, so there'll also be a new salvage. Orculum salvage, not available prior to this update. Not sure what type. Gems and necklaces, and this is for like archaeology for porn. So that's pretty nice. It's also pretty nice because it also makes it so like, oh, like again, a lot of these things are very Iron Man focused, which is I don't mind because it's not like it's hurting the main game. With at least I wouldn't think this type of update would hurt the main game. So instead of like, oh, I need to do divination, you can go for like, oh, I'm gonna go for 120 woodcutting, and while you're doing the journey, you can get gems and necklaces for portents. You know, I just think that's pretty cool. Or even no, yeah, just porns. Uh, Axe pecting more. So okay, inspecting more, expecting more. Sorry. So this is the primal hatchet, level 100 hatchet. I like it. It's pretty good. Again, like I love black and white. I guess I love 30. So like I like this hatchet a lot. You know, this is very rustic, looking. Again, you could maybe argue it would look better if you got rid of the brown bandages. Honestly, maybe just make it a black bandage or something. But I think I like how the metallic part of it looks. What else? So there's new Masterwork bow I talked about. It won't do anything since it's a tier 100 bow, so it really isn't worth getting. Well, that's actually not necessarily true. It'll probably be. I'm not sure because people know it'll eventually get buffed until a year from now. By the way, guys, it will probably be for a while a pretty good pickup, honestly, because it can use the dinosaur arrows like wind arrows and big arrows. So it will probably be like 300 500 mil, which is a lot cheaper than a Bow Last Guardian. So I think this is actually even in its current state, it actually fits a really good middle ground where say I want to range. Well, the best thing you can do is like a Nox bow, and that's it. Like you put Eldritch in EUF, you know. I mean, I guess you could use an Eldritch though, but that's bullets, which is garbage. So you don't do that. So no, a Nox bow is like the best bow. So now you have Masterwork bow, which is nice because now you have tier 100 damage, and yeah, this is really nice. So the Masterwork bow isn't actually that bad because again, Bow Last Guardian is like what 2 bill. So again, this will be probably about 300 to 500 mil, probably 500 mil because of the speculative. Oh, will they buff it a lot? So that's pretty good. New Eternal Magic weapons. Again, this is tier 90. They call them magic weapons, but it's new range weapons. So it's a tier 90 dual wield crossbows. They didn't actually show how they look, so I'm curious on how they look. But yes, like it's kind of sad because I like dual wield range a lot. I like both types of range. It just the ceramic armor effect actually like isn't bad. I hope you know that Elite ceramic armor isn't bad. It's just 2H range with Dracula armor is just too strong. They really need to tone down God arrows in general and Dracula armor. They really do. I would even put it probably a cap on or some kind of restriction on Hydrix Bolt tips in my opinion because Hydrix Bolt tips are a balance problem. So I'm talking about nerd shit again, guys. Um, so with what we call it, making the bows, they go from level 0 to 5, and you can't wear levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can only wear the base and level 5 of the weapon. Probably because they wanted to save time with like coding and QAing, which is understandable. I don't think many people actually use like +3 weapons or +4. Like who uses a Necro Great Axe +2? Who would use that over like a +3 or +4, whatever the heck the highest tier is, you know? So I actually understand that. What else? Oh, so you can only craft the beginning part at the workbench. So like, oh, the base plus 0 was to say you make the bow +0. You have to do it at the workbench. But then after that, you can make it all the way to +5 anywhere in the world to keep the identity of fletching, right? And once you have the +5 and you want to make it into like burial armor, for instance, it's just like smithing, guys. It's just like smithing. Make it into burial armor. You have to go back to a workbench, which is probably at 4, 4, and 3, or this looks like Birthrup. Again, that's the Ranger's workbench, and this is how you start and finish a product from base. This is you need the workbench to do the base, and the workbench to do burial. I will say one thing that's interesting is I'm very curious about how many logs you can cut an hour, because you only need 64 logs total on top of an unstrung short bow. So another 1 log, a bowstring, primal limbs, which is what is 1 or 2 bars. I think it might even be 1 bar. Eternal stock, which I guess is um another log, yeah, and a crossbow string. So 66 logs to make it all the way to +5, and then burial armor. So the thing about this is that Elder Ruin plate bodies to go from 0 to +5, I believe require like 400 bars, which is a lot of bars. And this only requires 66 logs. So I'm curious what the price of a log will be. Like, will it be like 20, 30K or like 10K? Depending on the rate, it might actually be very good to just even do burial armor. I would ill advise towards even doing burial armor with smithing. I never did burial armor. I just did +4 to +5 for mega XP, right? And yeah, then I would just sell it at +5. I'm not sure if you're gonna want to do that here still, or if because it's so again, you only need 66 logs compared to 400 bars. I'm I'm pretty sure that it might actually be this hey bro, this thing's so cheap you might as well burn it. Like we'll see how the economy goes. I believe going from +4 to +5 is the same. Like this is the same XP. Like making a +5 bow is the same XP as an elder. I think elders is a little bit faster. I'm not sure. I think that's how it is in terms of like getting the experience. Another thing is that you need logs in your log box to do this. So again, you need 64 if you have the base resource. So if you have base eternal shortbow, you need 64 magic logs, eternal magic logs to get it to +5, right? You need it in your wood box, and your wood box can hold 270 elder eternal magic logs. Sorry, you have to fill it, I believe. Yeah, you do have to fill it. So let's say I have 270 eternal magic logs. You can make what, like four, four bows all the way from 0 to +5 before you have to refill it. And to refill it is actually relatively easy. You don't even need a bank. Just have noted eternal magic logs in your inventory. Use the noted to just click fill and on the box, and the box will fill the noted logs into the box. So it's not as AFK as smithing, because with smithing you can literally fill your whole inventory with like 24 elder rune plate bodies +4, make them all to +5, and then you're done. And then you just AFK for literally like an hour or two. This, it looks like you can only AFK for 20, 30 minutes. Only, by the way. Which is not bad. um, so they're doing some again. This is some shit that we're like talking about, like stuff I never even do in the game. Like, so to make ammunition, you're gonna need to flesh an internal magic log to make an eternal magic shaft, combined with feathers, headless eternal magic shaft, combined with either primal arrowheads or bolt tips, primal arrow or primal bolt. And the reason they're doing that is because bolts only required feathers. Meanwhile, the arrows required a shaft plus feathers. I'm not sure about darts, but yeah, regardless, like they changed some method with this. I've never liked doing ammunition. One thing that's also notable is that instead of darts and and I think maybe bolts being stuck at a so so let me just read this. So you make 75 bolts instead of 50 bolts at a time, and the creation of primal bolts has been streamlined with 15 bolts being crafted in a single action instead of the previous 10. And bolts and arrows can now make 20 in the make X instead of 15 for bolts and 20 for arrows. So making the bolts is 15 bolts in a single action instead of 10 bolts. Aligning with the production of arrows. Finally, for bolts and arrows to 20 rather than having... I'm very... What? With 15 bolts, so they were... Guys, is this an error? You can now make 15 bolts instead of 10, aligning with the production of arrows. So now we can make 15 bolts. But then they made it 20 for bolts and arrows. Then separate limits of 15. Rather than having separate limits of 15 for bolts and 20. So now bolts have 20. So why is it 15 bolts in a single action? Shouldn't this be 20? Or am I stupid? I mean, I'm just kind of reading this just right now. That might be an error. Wow, that might have been a big brain moment, guys. I'm not sure what you guys think about that. Um, so apparently about the journey about being more. I'm very curious if this is actually true. They're like, as you level up from 100 to 110, you want to craft specific weapons as they yield higher XP. At certain points, you may want to also face decisions about which items best balance your time and resources. Again, I really want. It sounds like kind of like Iron Man, but it also probably has something to do with like the plus 1 to 5 system. I'm not sure. I'm curious if that's actually true. Yeah, so at 105 woodcutting, you can store 270 of every log. It requires 6 eternal magic logs to make this box. 110 firemaking actually has some pretty nice benefits overall. I will read them in a second. So you add it in the ground, burn them on the ground, use it on bonfires. Burn time is 6.5 minutes. Bonfire boost will scale accordingly, so what, an extra like 10 or 12 minutes. Fire Spirits of rewards scale with Eternal Magic Logs, so better rewards. Fire Spirits are actually really good, so that's good. War's Retreat can be upgraded with Eternal Magic Logs. They require 1,000, which is insane. I think it's insane because to make it to plus 5, it only requires 66 logs total, including the base bow. And based off that, in comparing to smithing, which requires like 400 bars, I think the rate of gathering might be actually very slow. And a thousand magic logs, every PVM is gonna just get this for the sake of getting this, so it might artificially increase the price of eternal magic logs for quite a while, to the point that no one actually fletches these things because there's such an inflated price. Like the product's probably gonna be worthless compared to the log, because every PVMer is gonna be buying these logs. So I don't feel like it's gonna be a good idea to train fletching with the new method until like a week later. I really think this is too much, unless the gather rate is actually insane, which it might be. I don't know. Heat mechanics for smithing increase from 100 to 110. That is very good. That makes it more AFK, more XP earnings an hour, which is very nice in general. And protein logs are the same experience. Protein logs are very, very strong, though, I will say, because you have a chance to save them every time. I would just recommend just doing buyers, though. You could finish it with protein logs after, though. It's not like you need many protein logs anyway. And this is the hatchet, right? The hatchet is hatchet of ember and glade. I'm not sure what a glade is, guys. Overall, I mean, it looks like a crystal pickaxe. I'm not a big fan of it personally. I like white and black. I really like the life and death pickaxe. I'm a big fan of it. I really wish they just went for the life and death pickaxe. I really do. I don't like this. I don't like bright heroic armor. I like black. I like white. I like red. I this is like such a I've just never been a fan of like a crystal pick. I've never been a fan of this type of color scheme. Like it's such a typical armor scheme, like a generic knight you'd see in a poster or something. I'm just not a fan of it. Um, I'm not a fan of that. I, like, it's not that to say it's bad. I just personally don't like it. I would have much preferred, bro. I'm not joking. Uh, I mean, there, there's tool, but I'm using a cosmetic hatchet for sure, bro. I'm about to just keep saying this. I think that this to me this looks better. This looks better to me than this. Okay, sorry, let me show the end game than this. It does. Like I think it looks fine for the majority of players probably, but I personally do not like it. I would have liked the hatchet of life and death. Okay, I really would have. I don't like that they chose to do this. Okay, I really don't. I wish I could say life and death and all my tools to show. I really wish everything should be about death. I really wish. You need a completion of White Gothic sleeves, Plague and Birthright of Dwarves, 90 smithing, and 90 woodcutting. Oh, only 90 to make that? That's crazy. Um. Oh, wait. Guys, I'm stupid. Guys. Okay, never mind. Guys, I forgot. I brushed through this so fast. I forgot that they made. Did they actually make it? Hatchet of Bloomin' Blight. Guys, this looks better. I'm a fan of this. Okay, I forgot. Guys, this I thought this was the end of the update. I thought this was the end of the update. I forgot that this is just the pickaxe that you make by what? Earthen. So how do you get this? Combining the. I don't like how they do this. I don't like that they put text in the middle here. I think they should just put the text on the bottom here. I don't. You don't put small text in between images. You don't do that. I'm just saying. Um, level 70 crystal hatchet and a level 80 Imcanado hatchet. I think I have plenty of crystal. Do I? I think I do have a crystal hatchet. So guys, yeah, be sure to get a crystal hatchet. So make sure you get your harmonic dust to make a crystal hatchet. At least I don't. I think you need harmonic dust. I don't know. Just get a crystal hatchet, guys. Everyone has an Incado hatchet. Then you get a shard of the lumberjack, purchased from Wilfred, who can be found just north of Valdor. He sells it? I wonder how much it is. Here's the thing that's cool. I hope this thing costs like 10 mil. So it just says you can buy it. This shard of lumberjack from Wilfred, right? How much is it? 10 mil. I hope it's like 10 mil because I think this game, or this, instead of like making the game annoying, like, oh, Cinderbrains degrade or your blast fusion boots degrade, I don't think they should degrade at all at this point. I think what they do is just sprinkle, like, oh, they get this enchant, you gotta pay 5 mil. You, like, this, get rid of that gold passively, like sprinkles everywhere. Everything should just have a gold thing. So that's really cool. Uh, so yeah, be sure to go. This is very important. So as soon as the update launches, you can go bring your crystal hatchet and Kanaga hatchet, make the tier 90 hatchet, which is gonna be the best hatchet for a while. And once you acquire the Hatchet of Ember and Glade, you can further enhance it by teaming up with your old friend Barmarno again, which is the guy in the White Wolf Mountain. Using your necromancy powers, you'll uncover the steps required to craft this mighty tool. Like the pickaxe of life and death, and setting priority level 100, this hatchet provides the best XP and log yield while woodcutting. Yeah, this looks much better. I like this. I like this weapon a lot. This looks really cool. I will say, it reminds me of the game of Linus a lot. It just... I like the game of Linus, for instance, with like how it looks. So this looks actually really nice. Like, see, now my opinion changes. I'm happy this is the best hatchet. Okay, I love the little shine. I love the little particle effect. That little white particle effect. Really good hatchet. So much better. To make this, you will need a hatchet. The hatchet we just talked about to make. 100 woodcutting, 100 fletching, 100 smithing, and 90 necromancy. Completion of Killyvro and Pieces of Hate. Killyvro is that mini quest series to make necromancy armor, I think. Also, and another big change is that all augmentable hatchets are now 3 tiers more powerful than their smith counterparts, with all hatchets increasing in power with woodcutting level benefits. So that's another really cool change, because so many people are like, again, when you have so much of the community going, why should I get, back in the day there used to be like, why even get the pickaxe of Earth and Song when I could just use an Elder Rune pickaxe plus 5. But the big benefit of an augmented tool is the honed for money, if you care about money, which wasn't really a thing too much. But the biggest thing is experience. It was Furnace 5? Furnace 6? I forget, but Furnace, and I think it's Furnace 5. And that increases XP by 20%, which is ginormous. So, yeah, now the bonus is it's more obvious that you should be getting this uh, new tool. It also is nice because it's obviously the choice for like Croesus, like, oh, get this new hatchet because even if you don't use furnace and but you will use honed, it gives +3 bonus compared to like an unaugmentable hatchet. So very good change there. I'm actually very surprised at that. Like, that's a really cool thing to incentivize people to get it and make it more obvious. Like, oh, I should really get this hatchet because it's better by quite a bit. Masterwork bow. Here's a concept art of it. Again, I don't like this color scheme that much. I'm just not big. Like, it looks fine. Like, again, it looks fine. It actually does look fine. But like, it's just not like maybe I'd wear it. Like, it's as some gray and there was kind of like related to black. It's okay. It's okay looking. I think maybe some people would say it's too small, but I kind of like small bows, to be honest. Like, not too big. Um, to make this, you'll need to begin. You need to complete a new achievement, Fletch quest. This involves crafting an internal magic shortbow and crossbow, upgrading each all the way to martial weapons. So make offhand crossbow, mainhand crossbow, and internal magic bow. Then upgrade it all the way to +5. I'm assuming you could probably cheat the system too, because this achievement with Masterwork armor, you could just buy the +4 Elder Rune armor, right, and just +5 it, and I think it would auto complete the achievement. So you probably could just cheat. Lol. Um, yeah, starting development. Yeah, they wanted to make it a powered down version of boss effects. This would have been a very bad idea because it would have been dead content for a lot of people and only for, I guess, upcoming PVMers. Maybe it'd be a better idea if Necromancy wasn't so strong. I'm not joking. I think if Necromancy was nerfed, it'd be a good idea, even with the current game state with like common drops. It would have been a really good idea though if they never nerfed Zuck and Karapek drop rates, and if they made like the St. Down Rebirth drop rates very rare, then this would have been actually a really cool update. Of that this was actually a pretty unique idea. But yeah, like in the current game state where everything's so easy, necromancy is so dominant, and drops are so common, it's just such dead content fast. They're gonna revisit it with 110 rune crafting, which is next year, so see it in a year. So that's why like don't invest in it so early. This will so after the release, not on the release, after the release of the Masterwork staff, they're gonna to carefully consider the best options for adding meaningful and interesting effects for where these weapons are intended. For where these weapons are intended? What do you mean for where they're intended? Like in terms of power, or maybe playstyle? They probably just, I really hope this shows that like I hope they just haven't had time to do a combat rework. Because I'm not joking. Combat needs a big rework because it's bad. Like, and by rework I mean some changes. Okay, guys. I've talked about many. I'm not going to talk about too much. Um, there were quality of life changes to Bow Last Guardian, which we added and kept in. You can wait till the patch outs. I really wonder what the quality of life is. It'd be funny if they changed it to make it it just encourages rapid hits instead of big hits. That'd be kind of funny. Uh, we quality of life we nerfed the bow or changed the bow completely. I hope there's a toggle for showing that red icon. I really miss that red icon. So we'll see what happens there. Wrapping up. This is some like I like that we're talking about like what they did as with planning. They made Smithville Hatchet level 100 Primal Hatchet. That's a placeholder color, by the way. I believe it's pink. It's usually placeholder. Crystallized and Life Form. They made this a bonus 20 to 40% instead of 50 to 87% for trees. I'm not sure how Life Form works, to be honest, with like experience per tree. I've never done that because why would you when you can just AFK Golden Bamboo? I think it was only like barely better than Golden Bamboo and a lot more effort you to click every minute. Again, I'm not sure why this is even so talked about. Like, who actually does this? Like, I'm sorry, who actually uses Lifeform and Crystallize? Probably like no one. Unless people are just sleeping on Golden Bamboo, which might be the thing. This change also affects fishing, so it's a 20 to 40% increase instead of 50 to 87. So I guess to make it better on higher tier spots. I'm not sure crystallized rocktails. I don't know. I've never used the spell. Like 1 mil an hour, bro. I prioritize my AFKing. I gotta play my Steam games, bro. You play the breakers while skilling, guys. That's why you just do golden bamboo. Um, I've never seen anyone talk about this on Reddit. Like no one does this, so I think it's funny how much they talked about this when no one does this. Because AFKing is so strong. Like I really hope they nerf AFKings one day, guys. One day, right? I mean, you can just buy keys anyway. Free to play changes. Teak trees can be found on Musa Point, so where the ogre water places. Maple trees can be found on the south side of Varrock, which is cool. I wonder. Acacia trees can be found north of Het's Oasis. That looks really pretty. I actually like that a lot. And that's it. So overall, I'm actually very surprised. They talked a lot about details. Like this was, I'm not sure if you guys looked, but I looked once like a week or two ago with old school RuneScape, and looks like an old school RuneScape post. They post a lot of details, a lot of like what they did, their rationale for how they did things, talking to the community, showing a lot of pictures. This was a very pleasant surprise. Like this is actually a very meaty update. I really, I will say I do hope they roll these changes out onto all the other trees. This looks really cool. I think this is very solid. I haven't played tested it yet, but this looks like a really fun woodcutting interaction. I like that it isn't just click on a different tree for and then get a bonus. It's you're chopping a tree, go to the different side of the tree and start whacking at it. Like I just think it's pretty interesting, and also how instead of the rocks just all staying and being immune, you can actually kill a tree and you need to go to a different tree and let that other tree regrow. Like I like that it's different, which is actually really impressive that they did that because people didn't want just copy paste rock cartoonies. I think at first Jetix didn't want to do a change like this. Actually, I believe back when they posted this like a month or two ago on the Reddit, they actually said, "Oh, we don't have time to change the core woodcutting mechanics. Just make a new tier." But they actually, I think they actually went out of their way and actually did work, guys. Genetics can do it if they tell themselves they can do it, guys. They actually went above and beyond. Although I will say I think it should be the bare minimum. But it is genetics. Am I shit talking? I don't think I am. But they actually did a nice job making this like little hey test this mechanic. I hope they roll this out onto other trees as well. I wonder if the other trees will, maybe last only a minute or two. I don't know, because there's so many, like, there's so many oak trees, for example. So overall, very good update, very exciting. I like that skilling's got a lot of love. I hope you guys are enjoying the skilling updates. I think these updates are really important because of how fast XP rates are. I do hope eventually they do rebalance XP rates at some point. I really do. But again, mostly to do with AFK versus active. You know, so yeah. That's it. Hope you liked the video. Bye.